welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to start a new video on a new topic, and our topic today is going to be on what is cost of capital, details about cost of capital and various uses of cost of capital. Brief discussion about cost of capital, and this video is going to be an introductory video on cost of capital and a brief discussion about cost of capital. The next different kind of inputs on cost of capital is to be discussed on our next video. So please guys, listen to the video till the end, and if you like the video, please press the like button, and if you want to get more video updates on these topics, then please press the subscribe button on the bell icon. And thank you guys for watching the video. Let's start the video now. Now tell me, what is the concept about cost of capital? What is cost of capital? Cost of capital is just nothing. It is the cost involved in acquiring some kind of money or fund for project different for financing different kind of projects. So cost of capital is nothing but a cost of funds involved in financing different kind of projects. Cost are interest cost, dividend cost, profits, etc. Involved in acquiring funds. So the basic concept of cost of capital is effectively used in many decision making areas. Cost of capital is also known as the hurdle rate, cutoff rate, or also the minimum target rate. From the point of view of the firm, it is also known as the combined cost of capital or weighted average cost of capital. If a project is accepted by a company, if a new project is accepted by a company, the project requires certain amount of fund. These funds can be acquired either externally or from internal sources. Now, the firm has to look for funds from various sources. From wherever the fund is acquired or raised, it has a cost implied in it. Now, it has certain kind of cost involved in it, such as the interest cost, dividend cost. The providers of the capital expect or want to get some certain return on their investment. Due to the time value of money or an inherent risk associated with their investment. Now, if a firm gets some fund from the bank, such a kind of finance also involved certain interest cost. The bank has to pay interest monthly or per annum basis to the bank. And if the company issues debentures for getting the fund or for acquiring the said fund for financing different kind of business activities, the debentures has to be paid the interest first, or the if a firm wants to generate fund through issuing preference shares, the firm can do so also. And if a firm issue preference share, the firm has to pay the dividend to the preference shares also. So these dividends, interest involved in acquiring or getting funds for financing any new projects is known as the cost of capital. The provider of the fund also expects some kind of return on their investment due to time value of money involved, and there is some inherent risk involved in providing the money. Wherever the capital is invested, acquiring from internally or externally, the rate of return from the investment should not be less than the cost of capital. The rate of return from the investment or the profit earned from the investment should not be less than the interest which has to be paid on the borrowed capital. If the rate of return is expected to be lower than the cost of capital, it is worthless to consider the decision or to go for the decision. After meeting up the minimum expectations of the providers of the capital, that is after meeting up the cost of capital, something should be left for the financial improvement of the firm. After meeting the interest cost or the dividend cost of the capital which is acquired for development, there should also left some kind of profit after paying the interest and dividend. Those profit is the which is helpful for the improvement of the firm, and which also further increases the value of the firm. In other way, the rate of return from the investment should be more than that of the cost of capital. If that happens, then it will increase the value of the firm, that is, increase the shareholders' wealth. Now, if the firm earns more profit, the firm gets more profit, and profit is left as retained earning and reserves and surplus after paying any kind of debt involved, then the firm's value also increases, and by increasing the firm's value, the shareholders of the firms also, the value of the shareholders involved in the firm is also get increased, the value of the shares of the firm also get increased, the earning per share also get increased. So it is very important to earn a higher rate of return, or a higher profit should be earned to increase the value of a company or a firm. Now, uses of capital, cost of capital. There are various kind of uses of cost of capital, or its method is used in various kind of decision making processes. So first use is capital budgeting decisions. In capital budgeting decisions, cost of capital is used as discount factor or present value factor for to arrive at the present value of cash outflows and cash inflows. The cost of capital method is also used in capital budgeting capital budgeting process, the process which is which helps to evaluate any kind of new financing, whether the financing is going to be profitable or will be in loss. So capital budgeting decision is to be taken on those matters beforehand, and thus the cost of capital plays a vital role in taking capital budgeting decisions. It helps us to tell whether the investment is going to be profitable in the near future or it is going to be in vain. So it helps in it helps through making the discounting rate factor involved in cash outflows and cash inflows. If the present value of the cash inflows is greater than present value of the cash outflows, then the net value, that is NPV, net present value, becomes positive and the investment proposal is accepted. On the other hand, if the NPV, net present value, is negative, the investment proposal is rejected. In case of IRR, that is internal rate of return method, a project is accepted only when the internal rate of return exceeds the cost of capital. That is, if the internal rate of return, that is the return or the profit earned, is less than the cost of capital, that is the cutoff rate, it is decided to reject the project. The project is rejected. If the internal return on the project is more than the cost of capital, then the project is approved. That is how much profit we are getting after investing in a new project or a new business. Accordingly, we take decisions so that whether it is profitable to invest in a new project or it will be in loss. So accordingly, we have to take the decisions through the factor involved, such as cost of capital. Now, second is the value of the firm. Value of the firm depends on the operating profit, that is EBIT. The value of the firm on operating profit, that is EBIT, and KO, that is overall cost of capital. Overall cost means weighted average cost of capital. Value of the firm is determined as follows. Value of the firm is V equals to EBIT divided by KO. EBIT is earning before interest and tax, that is operating profit, divided by overall cost of capital. For a given level of EBIT, the value of the firm can be increased by decreasing the overall cost of capital. The value of the firm can be maximized by maximizing the cost of capital. The cost of capital for which the value of the firm is maximum is called the optimum cost of capital or the minimum cost of capital. Now, the position where the value of the firm is maximum through minimum cost of capital, it is known as the profitable position or the maximized optimum cost of capital or the minimum cost of capital. If the cost of capital is less, the value of the firm increases by decreasing the cost of capital. If the cost of capital is more, the value of the firm decreases by lower profit gained. It is known as the uh, it is not in favor of the company. So next point is performance evaluation. In performance evaluation, the top management or investment is compared with the cost of capital, that is ROI is greater.